vibrator that fits up your butt. It's a vibrator that. Never mind.
I know what it looks like.
It looks like a seahorse.
The movie you're making me watch today is a adaptation from a book called Adaptation, 2002. Spike Jonze, who coincidentally was married to Sofia Coppola at the time. Schwartz, what's your word for adaptation?
My word is original.
Shit.
My word is self-deprecating, which I feel isn't a word you can use for most movies. You got it, Anthony.
Indulgent.
These are good words. These might be the best words we've ever had for this podcast.
Fuck you and your words.
Word.
Yeah.
Are you some kind of word scientist?
What is this movie about here?
What happened?
Schwartz?
Okay,
Tell us.
So this movie is about a screenwriter named Charlie Kaufman, who is a little neurotic, a little bit of a loser, a little bit of a self-deprecating guy, you know what I mean? He is a really well-known screenwriter who writes some pretty quality shit, but he's having trouble adapting a book that he was given the job to do called The Orchid Thief. So he decides, because he can't figure out how to do it, to put himself into the script and write about the process of writing the script. He also has a twin brother named Donald, and he's also a young aspiring screenwriter who his brother Charlie hates everything about what he writes, but ends up that his writing's actually pretty good, I guess, in a way. The movie shows the characters of the said screenplay, and they are the subject matter of the book, John LaRoche, and the author of the book, Susan White Woman, I can't forget her name.
Orlean.
Susan Orlean. That is what this movie is about.
Now, all real people, minus the brother.
Minus Donald, yes.
Donald is
Donald's
think
the
I
only
saw
made-up
something-
character in this, but other than that, it's a true story.
Yes. So Charlie Kaufman,
to a point, to an extent.
Yeah, so Charlie Kaufman was given the assignment to write that book into a movie, and he couldn't because I guess if you think about it, it doesn't really have that good of a plot like the actual book. It's just about this fucking weird dude who likes to hunt orchids. So it was way more interesting in the way he did it. And what I read is that he didn't tell the production company who hired him to do it. The only person he told was Spike Jonze, and Spike Jonze was like, yeah, that sounds like a pretty interesting thing. And then when he handed in the script, they were like, what the fuck? And I guess coming off of being John Malkovich, which was Spike Jonze's first film, he had a lot of leeway because it was a pretty original and inventive movie, and he was already known as a pretty big music video director before that. But so they kind of they rolled with it. And I think the fact that he got such a great cast, the fact that Nicolas Cage had just come off like pretty big string of movies, Con Air, Face Off. He had won an Oscar a couple years before for Leaving Las Vegas, and like you said, his wife was Spike Jonze's wife was Sofia Coppola, so she called up her cousin Nick, got him to be in the fucking movie, and then they got Meryl Streep, and then when you get Meryl Streep, you can pretty much do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm. And Chris Cooper.
Chris Cooper won an Oscar for this movie.
Yeah, Chris Cooper was.
He won Best Supporting Actor for this movie.
The dude from Born Identity.
Yes, the dude from Born Identity.
Actor.
Anyway, this movie, I chose this movie because this is one of my all-time favorite movies. This is definitely in my top 10. I never saw a movie like this before. I've never seen a movie like it since. As a person who wants to write movies, I thought it was pretty interesting seeing the process of someone who's completely fucking batshit crazy and tries to do it himself. I think the acting is pretty great. I think this is Nicolas Cage's best role he's ever done. I think he's never been better than this. It's pretty good. I think the fact that he plays two people that are kind of crazy is pretty great. And I think that, like I said before with my word, I think this is one of the most original movies I've ever seen.
Yeah, I think Nick Cage, especially with like the dual role. Like, and they were such different characters too, and you can just like it's almost like he acted off of himself so well, and they edited that pretty well.
The editing was great.
In scenes together at the same time. Like
the editing was great. You try to look for,
didn't seem like the same person.
Yeah, you try to look for awkwardness or like weird pauses or weird gaps between things, but it was just lit. It was edited perfectly and acted pretty great. It was pretty great. I liked it a lot. I liked it a lot more than I thought I was gonna like it. I thought I was gonna think it was stupid. I thought the end was stupid, but I guess that was.
Why do you think the end was stupid?
Well, it took a left turn, went crazy with. I mean, it started going. It started, it followed Donald's kind of version of the story where there was car chases and alligator mauling.
That's because he went.
I get it.
That's because he went to Brian Cox's seminar. I told him he needed some drama, so he put some drama in there.
And that was also like right when like Donald joined the writing team. Essentially, that's when like the movie like had a little switch in it and got kind of crazy. It's like he had that conversation like one of the first scenes with the whatever the producer, whoever that was, the woman that plays Tilda Swinton, about how he didn't want to make a movie that was too dramatic about like sex and drugs and whatever, but that kind of what it became in the end, and that was kind of the whole point. Which
I think it's kind of
poking fun. It definitely
poking fun at Hollywood for having to have all that shit in their movies all the time.
Yeah, and himself too.
Charlie Kaufman has made some pretty original shit, whether it be Being John Malkovich, Eternal Sunshine, Human Nature was a great one. He also did Appaloosa, which is a pretty original film. Like, he's written some pretty great movies.
Yeah.
None of them having to do with sex, drugs, or car chases, which I think is the point.
Yeah. No, I mean, I get why it ended like that, but I mean, I get what they were doing. But it was just at that point, I was just like, what? Like, this movie really had me until this point. Again, I get it. Maybe even hindsight, I appreciate it more than while I was watching. Because while I was watching, I was like, what the fuck is happening right now? This is crazy. It didn't hit me right away, I guess. The irony of the ending as I was watching it. Right, it didn't hit me right away. I think that's why I was like, this is fucking dumb. I guess maybe after the fact, I like it better.
Yeah,
because it went crazy. I mean, I get it. It was cool. It was funny. At a certain point, I was like, this is rad.
What I love is that just like from the opening, when it's just like BTS footage, probably shots by Spike Jonze on the set of Being John Malkovich. John Malkovich is just like yelling at everyone. He's like, everybody shut the fuck up. We're going to shoot this movie and these guys are hot. And it was just great. It just showed like how crazy it is like in the industry about like doing things and like how much power that like actors and people with like stature have, you know what I mean? I loved seeing the DP trying to set up the shot after he goes, we're going to try to figure out all our camera problems today. And then it shows the DP like, all right, lower the camera a little bit, go up with the camera. That was pretty great. And then what I love is that it shows Nicolas Cage's character, who's Charlie Kaufman, who probably was on the set of that movie that day, being a creep, just like Nicolas Cage was. And he was just like sitting there looking all weird. It's just a good movie. It's original and it's just really well crafted. That's why I chose this movie. I think that Spike Jonze hasn't made a better movie since this. I guess you can argue Her is a great movie, but I think this is better than Her. Where the Wild Things Are was a pretty great movie, but I still don't think it stands up to this. I think that the whole like there's a lot of movies that show the behind the scenes of movies, whether it be Birdman or The Player or whatever you want to name, but this
Sunset
Boulevard, but this one is Magnolia. That
was a TV show.
Yeah, sure. Okay. But this one has a little bit more prestige than all of those. I think this one's just told a little bit better than all those.
Right, because that was like an Oscar-nominated like blockbuster kind of movie. Not blockbuster, I don't think, but it was like, Being John Malkovich and Adaptation.
I think they were both nominated for Oscars for the screenplays.
Yes, I believe so. And Oscar and acting nominations.
Acting nominations, yeah. John Cusack was amazing in being John Malkovich.
I think Catherine Keener got nominated.
Yeah, she did. And then Spike Jonze. What's his name? The dude from Bourne Identity. He won an Oscar for this movie.
And Jones might have been nominated for directing in Malkovich. I know he got nominated for writing on Adaptation, or not writing, but I think he got nominated for directing on it. Not for Adaptation, but I think
for John Malkovich, yeah, because that
could
was
be wrong, but I think he did.
That's one of the most original movies too. Like, who's ever fucking seen a movie like that?
For sure. Yeah, it was interesting how like he explored his own like integrity of how to write the films and stuff like that.
Which is smart, man. Like, you're thinking to yourself, like, how the fuck am I gonna write this movie? And then he's like, what if I put myself through this movie? Like, how? That's insane. That's insanity.
It's
also like weirdly self-indulgent at the same time.
Super self-indulgent.
But not what's the word I'm looking for? When you're being an asshole, but the nice word for it. Pretentious. It's not pretentious. It's self-indulgent, but it's not.
That movie was pretty pretentious.
Which movie? This movie?
Adaptation.
No, it's not. It's not pretentious.
I think it is at times.
I don't think it's pretentious. I think it's self-indulgent because it's showing like how like a writer who's got to come up with something from scratch is gonna go through shit. And like the dude, Brian Cox's character, who's actually a real guy in real life, the guy he's portraying, he's written a bunch of books. That guy was a fucking asshole, but it's a persona. It's not. It's just a persona. It's like being a fucking movie star. You know what I mean? It's you got to keep up a persona. I don't think he was pretentious.
A little bit.
What do you mean? You're saying Kaufman had a persona?
Yes, I'm saying the character of Charlie Kaufman just had a persona. I mean, I think Charlie Kaufman in real life is probably just like this character.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's pretty. I mean, I don't know. Pretentious might not be the right word for it, but yeah.
No, okay. There was a line. There was a line in the movie that LaRoche kept saying that I kept thinking like that's what Charlie Kaufman thinks is I'm the smartest person I know, and he was kind of saying it as if it's like a curse. And I'm like, that's fucking Charlie Kaufman right there.
All right, that's a little pretentious. All right, I'll give you that.
I think that was him. That was him talking right there.
Yeah,
and I mean, and just the whole.
It seems to me, or it did seem like it was a curse to him, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Thinking
he was
he was a smart
such like a neurotic person, and
neurotic, pathetic. But passionate.
Yeah, I almost think Larry David is probably just like this too, and he just uses humor to mask it. You know what I mean? He's kind of like Larry David.
I could see that.
Yeah, man. Larry David seems a lot more confident.
And then neurotics. Yeah.
A lot more what?
Confident.
Sure, but maybe he's not, and he just acts like he is. You know what I mean? Where Charlie Kaufman can't pull that off.
There's like something like a phrase I've heard about like certain like mental illnesses, like some people like in certain forms of depression. There's like they feel that they're better than everyone, but at the same time they hate themselves. Yeah, I think that's sort of like would describe how like the Charlie character was. Donald was like the ultra confidence, and I think I read or heard an interview at some point where like Charlie wrote Donald as someone of like a subconscious, like there's that side of him. He has that side of him, but it's not whatever comes out.
It's his personal Tyler Durden.
I saw him initially as I assumed it was going to be like not a real person. I assumed it was going to be his subconscious or something. I mean,
like he wasn't real, like he was never real. He only saw him.
Yeah.
See, that would have been a little too cliche. You know what I mean? That would have been way too cliche.
No, yeah,
it would have been sort of like the screenplay he was writing.
The
turns out they were the same person the whole time.
That's just what, the 3. I'll watch it.
Yeah, the 3.
I guess in my mind I was thinking that would have been the obvious thing at the time, which it probably would have.
Nope, they just killed him off instead.
But they just murk him, flies through the window.
This,
the whole
ultra
sequence,
dramatic scene.
Just like Jesus fucking Christ, what happened here?
Well, I love how Meryl Streep goes to the extreme of we gotta kill him. Like Jesus.
Oh yeah,
Christ.
Yeah.
Jumps out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. But I guess that was the point. It was just like, all right, well, the movie was boring. Let's amp it up. And
The movie's not boring. It's just it's going into the cliche of everything he didn't want to do.
Exactly, which was making his movie uninteresting to people. What, I don't know, another word for boring.
But Cox also said, just stick the ending. You'll be good.
Stick the ending.
Did he stick the ending? Did he get it?
There were, yeah, I think so. I love the little time lapse in the end with the flowers. That was pretty cool.
That was great.
And I also think that the opening scene, well, not the opening scene, but I guess the second scene where it shows like the dinosaurs and like all that shit, that was pretty dope. Little time lapse, and also the time lapse of the bee pollinating the flower was pretty great too.
Yeah, all the time lapses in those I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, they were pretty good.
And I feel like everyone was talking about that sequence when it came out, how good it was, or how existential the movie was. I just remember people jerking off about this movie when it came out. And talking about
the same thing as Birdman.
Specifically.
It's the same thing as Birdman. It's like everybody who
that movie's
wants
pretentious.
to be. But it's meant to be. You know what I mean? It's meant to be. I don't think this is as pretentious as Birdman. I mean, Birdman is. I think Birdman's an incredible movie, and I think it's Michael Keaton was amazing. Edward Norton should have won an Oscar for it, but it's not. This isn't as pretentious as that. Not at all. True. What I love is that like Spike Jonze went from being a fucking dude who filmed skate videos in LA. Yeah. And then fucking got to be a music video director and made music videos for like
this week's movie is brought to you by the director
Beastie Boys and
Jackass 4.
Yeah, well, no, he didn't direct the Jackass movies, but he produced it all. He was the producer of all the Jackass shit, and he also directed videos for Weezer, Beastie Boys, Bjork, Pharcyde, REM, Daft Punk, Puff Daddy, Tourist Bitch. He directed the Tenacious D Wonder Boy video.
Yep, that's great videos.
Yeah.
Good.
Like Sabotage, I think, is one of like the most famous ones he's directed by.
Sabotage is the movie that is the video that got him to people to know his name. The Beastie Boys Sabotage video.
Yeah, he's great.
His visual storytelling is good. The visuals is probably the craziest thing, or the most memorable thing about this movie. I think is the forced visuals. They're just kind of they're. It's like, you know what I mean? Like the basically like that the beginning sequence, or when they're in the swamps, like they force these kind of close up either time lapses or just B-roll of whatever's going on, rather than just I don't know. It's forced on you. You're forced to feel based on these visuals that are putting in your eye or put up on the screen. More so than like I don't know. Forced upon you is the only way I can think about what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I get it.
He tries to go for the profound. I think he leans into it. That type of,
I agree. All his movies are like super original. So I know I've used that word a lot, but I feel like original is the best way to describe it.
And like, weird. You can just call them fucking weird. Like they're all pretty weird.
They are weird. I mean, when I saw Where the Wild Things Are, I was thoroughly impressed just because I was like, how the fuck are they going to make a movie about that?
Yeah, it's a children's book.
And it was
I love the book as a
so
kid.
sick. Like James Gandolfini and Catherine O'Hara and Forrest Whitaker as the fucking voices of those things that's genius casting.
Mm-hmm.
Like genius casting.
Yeah, good. He did well.
What
was his last movie?
Yeah, Her was his last film.
Damn, he hasn't made a movie in forever.
And then died.
he's made a few things though. He directed the Aziz Ansari stand-up special. He directed the new Beastie Boys doc on Apple TV, and he's also directed a few music videos since then. He directed a couple. Because you know what else he directed? That is huge. Is the Fatboy Slim Christopher Walken Weapon of Choice video.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah,
he directed that.
That's right.
Yeah.
And the what's that? The one where they're dancing in the movie theater. What was that fucking song? There was a Fatboy Slim video where there's like a group of like dancers in the movie theater.
Oh yeah, no, it's not a movie theater. It's a mall.
A mall, okay.
Yeah, which he was the.
Is that Praise You? I think it's Praise You.
But Spike Jonze is the main guy dancing too.
That's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, that video is fucking great.
It is. Funny. Yeah, no, he's
also in Three Kings.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, true.
Also, David O. Russell, the director of Three Kings, is in this movie.
Really?
Yeah, him and Curtis Hanson are in this movie. They're at the dinner when Meryl Streep's dinner party.
Oh, I could see that. I don't think I noticed them, but
he was great in Three Kings, man. He was awesome in Three
Kings. He's a good actor.
Redneck.
He played the same deal. He like plays like kind of a weirdo.
Yeah.
And a lot of stuff. He's in a funny show. What's that? David Cross show.
Mr. Show?
No, it was like, fuck. It's like he has to go to Europe for some reason. So I can't describe it. I don't remember what it's called. Like it's
Bernie.
Todd Margaret. Bernie? There we go. Todd Margaret. Bernie. No. But
Bernie, it was Jack Black. Never mind. Doesn't matter.
He was in Bernie.
Oh, the movie Bernie.
Yeah, that's a fucking
that's a Linklater movie.
Richard Linklater movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about a TV show for some reason.
There's a different TV show I'm talking about.
Oh. Okay.
Then no to
anyway,
both?
Orchid Hunters. So the fact is they never made a movie about this book.
No. This is the movie that they made about this book. This movie that we're watching.
Yeah. They took characters from a book and essentially like added a whole level of weirdness to it. Like I think I'm curious to even read the book too. I'm like
kind of want to read it just to see like
see what there was.
Like remember how they say like when Stephen King saw The Shining, he was like, "This is fucking horseshit. Like, take my name off of it. This is not what I wrote." Like I can't imagine what the writer of like the real Susan Orlean's. I mean, I know eventually she loved it, but
yeah, I read that she didn't want to do it. When she
first saw it, I can't imagine if she was like, "The fuck is this?
That shit didn't happen. What the fuck?
The fuck is this?"
I never fucked that guy.
You had me till the end when I fucked the dude and I'm snorting. I was like, "What?" I was literally laughing. I was laughing out loud. Like, what is going on right now? When he turns to her and he's like, "There's drugs in the fucking orchids. You can snort them." And then she snorts it and starts looking at her toes and calls him. Mm-hmm. That's shit took a turn.
What another thing I love about this movie is I feel like the relationships between people. I think that's what this movie is about. Is like the relationships between people and how you don't necessarily expect them to be as they are. Like she never thought she was going to be banging that dude. You never think that his brother is going to be hanging out with Catherine Keener and the makeup artist played by what's her face at his house. Like it's just showing that like it's really showing that like you can't judge a book by its cover. People are friends with people and want to be around people because of who they are as opposed to what they look like and their personas. And I think that's what this movie is about at its core.
So it's about how it's the adaptation of people,
but I'll still be fucking ugly. There's nothing that can change.
Yeah, you can be ugly Nicolas Cage and still do it. Not saying Nicolas Cage.
If I was happier, would my hair stop falling out? That was my.
They uglied him up for sure. Though.
They uglied the shit out.
He had a fat suit on, right?
Yeah, 100%. And also like all I kept saying to myself this whole movie was, dude, shave your fucking head, dude. Just shave your head, man. Come on, just shave your head.
It's funny because Charlie Kaufman doesn't like look that bad. Like,
but Charlie Kaufman also is a weirdo
guy. He's a weirdo.
He looks like a weirdo.
Probably has like body dysmorphia and he's like super neurotic and shit. Great writer though. Writes weird shit, but good shit.
Great.
Unique.
Yeah.
Very unique. Sure. Unconventional. This movie.
Yeah. Have you guys seen the movie he came out with in 2019? I think it was a Netflix film with Jesse Plemons, the guy who plays Todd. It's called.
I'm thinking of ending things.
I'm thinking of ending things. It's fucking wild.
It's fucking weird.
It's wild. It's weirder than anything he's ever made. It's and I don't want to say anything but that because like talking even about the plot will give shit away. But it's the fucking weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. I don't think I've ever seen a movie weirder than that.
It was one of the times I was kind of disappointed because I read the book before I watched the movie. So I kind of knew what was going to happen. And it's not like that ruined the movie at all. But it was just like, I almost wish I would have just seen his take on that fresh and just kind of gone in without like knowing what was going to happen. Because that was a weird fucking movie.
Oh my God. Toni Collette fucking was amazing in that movie.
Yeah. Yeah. So Anthony, if you get a chance, if you feel like watching a weird ass movie, I'm thinking of ending things. It was written and directed by Charlie Kaufman.
Yeah. It came out. It was a Netflix original that came out in 2019.
Another weird one was Synecdoche, New York. Either of you have seen that one?
That movie is insanely good. That movie stars the late great Philip Seymour Hoffman too.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's
in one of his only starring roles.
And what a wild fucking weird fucking movie. Like so great, but so weird.
Yeah, it's about a playwright who basically rents out a fucking like building in New York City. It's like a warehouse. It's like 10 stories big, but it's like hollow, and he just turns. He builds his play in the warehouse. Like he builds buildings and
basically lives in the play in the warehouse. It's fucking
insane. It's like a never-ending play.
Yeah,
it's strange.
And the guy is played by Philip Seymour Hoffman. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
I gotta check it out.
Yeah.
You're just like, this guy sounds fucking weird.
Yeah, it's weird. It's all weird, but it's
all
of
his fucking movies are weird.
It's all good shit, though. I mean, we watched another movie he wrote, was Eternal Sunshine. That's another movie he wrote, which is a great movie.
Of The Spotless Mind.
Yeah, Charlie Kaufman also wrote that.
He won an Oscar for that movie. That's the only Oscars he ever won, was for writing that movie.
And then he died?
No, he's alive.
Is he related to Andy Kaufman?
That'd be fucking rad if he was.
That would make sense.
It would.
They're both weird, and they both like the same actors.
I imagine Andy Kaufman being in a Charlie Kaufman film.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
That'd be a wild film.
That'd be cool.
Because Charlie Kaufman he went very meta with Adaptation, and that was like
this is the most meta movie I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, and that was like Andy Kaufman's like specialty with humor before people knew what fucking meta was. Andy Kaufman took it there.
This is
Charlie
mega
Kaufman
meta.
wrote this movie for sure.
This is mega meta. That's the first word I had was meta, but I was like, nah.
Same thought process. I'm like,
dude,
it's too easy.
But it's meta as fuck. If Meta had a huge dick and fucked everything, this is that movie.
Oh yeah, big meta dick for sure.
BMD, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think my favorite character, even though he was in it for 5 minutes, was Brian Cox's character. That guy was amazing. That guy was absolutely amazing.
He was great. I was just watching his other than the brother. I like Donald.
I mean, yeah, Donald's great, but like Brian Cox's character just comes in for 5 minutes, and even like, because in the seminar you're like, God, this guy's a complete fucking asshole, and then on the streets when Charlie basically says to him, he's like, man, I just need someone to talk to. He's absolutely willing to help and talk to him, which I was like, that's awesome. Like, I didn't expect that, especially the first time I saw the movie. And I love just how they're sitting in the bar, like this close from each other.
Yeah. Why would he stand like when he got up and left, when Brian Cox got up and left, he like kind of real close to him. I forgot exactly what he said. He said like his last line.
Yeah.
And walked away.
It's a great, man. It's a great scene. I love it. I love that scene. It speaks so much to how, like I said, the relationships between people, like how like they think alike because they're both these crazy writers who have to fucking come up with all this shit, that original shit, and then they just help each other out in that way, which I thought was dope. And I love how he calls Donald to come to New York once he realizes that his script isn't something he would write, and he doesn't necessarily like that kind of movie, but he respects the fact that maybe Donald does have something to say and he can help him. And I loved that too.
Yeah, it was a good ending.
Yeah, no, I just love how, because if that wasn't his brother, he wouldn't have tolerated him. There's no way that he would keep Donald around.
No way.
Sad to see Chris Cooper go. Chris Cooper was maybe my favorite character just because he was so fucking out there, such a weirdo. That was like a pre-Tiger King kind of guy without being like a fucking animal abuser. He just stole plants. But I think
plant abuser.
I think he meant well. Also, early porn guy, so respect there.
EPG,
oh my god, how funny was that? He's like
that site looks so bad. It looks so funny.
He's like, people pay anything to look at titties.
He's like, yeah, they could be fat, they could be skinny, doesn't matter. I just want to look at titties. That was amazing.
So true.
That guy, he's just such a funny thinker.
That is probably what the early porn guys were thinking too. It was crazy. Yeah. It doesn't matter what I put up on here.
And I love how Meryl Streep's character ends up posing nude for him. That's amazing.
I know.
I bet you when Susan Orlean saw this movie, she was like, Jesus Christ.
What the fuck?
When she saw that part.
I did not do that.
I did not do that.
I heard they never met her and Charlie Kaufman. They met like once, and it was super weird.
Really?
Yeah, he said they met on the set. Nick Cage, they were both on set at the same time. Charlie Kaufman was creeping over in the corner, I imagine much like what the character was doing in the movie. And she came on set, and Nick Cage was like, hey, this is the first time we've had both the writer and the writers on set. And they met, and she was like, this is very embarrassing. He goes, this is very embarrassing for me. And he turns around and walks away.
I can see that.
He never talked to her again for a year. That was like deep into production.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, once she actually found out what the fuck it was, she's like, "That's."
And if Meryl Streep's playing you, good to go.
Yeah,
That's
you
true.
won.
Yeah,
You won that
Good to
battle.
go. I want
that's
Meryl Streep to
probably
play
that
me.
was her thing. She's like, only if Streep does it.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
we can make that happen.
I mean, that's just a testament to this script too. Is that like you get someone of her magnitude? Like this is 2002. This is like Meryl Streep's still an A-list actress. Is still a big name, but this is like when Meryl Streep was still like a movie star. You know what I mean? Like she was younger still. Like she
Peak
was
Streep.
Yep.
Streep,
Young
arguably.
Streep. Big Streep fan.
Yeah.
I think she's always looked exactly the same, but big Streep fan.
She really has.
I don't
Since
think she's
Deer Hunter.
like
Yeah.
good or bad. I don't know. She's looked exactly the same.
She was way hotter in Deer Hunter than she was in this.
Exactly. She looks exactly the same. Is this two? So that's 2 Streep movies we've watched.
Yeah, two
Meryl
Streeps.
Streep.
We should. What's the next movie? Is it got Streep in it?
I don't think so.
The Hours.
Nah. I mean, we can watch the Streep later.
You know what's a great Meryl Streep movie? Death Becomes Her.
Oh, I forgot she was in that.
That's a Robert Zemeckis classic.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
Oh, Zemies.
Yeah.
Sounds keys, dude.
It's her and Goldie Hawn playing psychopaths.
Oh.
It's pretty great. And
I
Bruce
got
Willis
it.
plays the timid husband.
Cool.
Oh no, tell me something else, Jake. What do you got in your notes, my dude?
Done with Fish. I'm definitely saying that. Like,
Fuck
like
Fish, dude.
That was a great thing about his character too, and that's another thing. Like I was going back to before. It's like I think she was like attracted to that. Like she physically, I don't think she's attracted to that guy ever. But the fact that that dude was so sure of everything that he said and just being like, "I'm done with Fish." She was just like, "Yeah, I love this guy. Like I wish I could be like that." You know what I mean? She's like, I wish I could think like that, and that's what I think attracted her to him.
Yeah, when he went and interviewed him or interviewed her as him,
Yeah,
and he was like, I sense a little attraction. Care to comment? It's definitely that was that. I think that was right before shit went. Oh no, because that was when he was there. So the story turned about that point. But that yeah, that's about as much as I got too. Nothing like sexual or anything crazy like that, but definitely an attraction of some kind.
yeah. I mean, I think it had to do a little bit of that and a little bit of the drugs, a little bit of that, a little bit of this.
Then the drugs. I'm
Bada
saying
bing,
either
bada
way,
boom, bada
if
boom.
even if it didn't turn, you could sense the attraction.
Yeah.
Maybe that
All
was
right,
real.
Jake, what
Maybe
else?
it wasn't. Done with Fish.
I think that car crash sequence like mildly traumatized me to every time I see a camera like inside of a car. I'm just expecting a fucking car crash to happen. Like
You mean the
it's
one
like,
where his family died?
Yeah, that one.
There was
Yeah.
2, wasn't there? Wasn't there another one at the end?
There was with Donald dying also. So yeah, a lot of people fucking die in car accidents. Yeah, it's very like, yeah, it's very. So every time I see that in-car cam, I'm like someone's about to die, and I just think that, even though it doesn't always happen in movies, but I always get like anxious when
The End of No
happens.
Country.
Yeah, all that shit. Yeah.
Best movie ever made.
Mm-hmm.
Arguably. That car crash scene in this movie, though, the one where his family dies, is pretty fucking hardcore.
Oof.
It's pretty
Yeah.
hardcore, man.
Yeah, it's a fucking.
Like, it's pretty bad, especially when he's like on the gurney and he's like, which one of them's dead? Which one of them's dead? I was like, Jesus Christ, that was pretty hardcore.
That was
And-
kind of
and-
like the visuals you were talking about earlier. Like it was like very like forced, like intense visuals in that scene.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it went, and that kind of goes back to what you were saying, Schwartz. Is we've just known this guy as kind of crazy, toothless. Like we don't know how he lost his tooth, and then we learn how he loses his teeth, and that has a whole new meaning now. Now every time we see that, it's like, oh fuck, man. That's a reminder for him. It's just
Another thing I love is how
another level of depth that we weren't expecting.
and he never fixed his teeth. That's the best part. He just kept it as is.
That's why I think it was a reminder for him. You know, that's why I feel maybe he did that on purpose.
Yeah, his story kept going deeper too, because then his wife left him because she had kind of like the easy way out.
Yeah.
You know, and,
At first
and then the whole hurricane thing destroyed his greenhouse.
And
so
he starts as a loser, a toothless loser living with his dad.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end, we gotta really feel for the guy.
Yeah.
Then he went on a killing.
He's a great character. I love that character.
I mean,
Chris Cooper was so fucking good in it.
He definitely deserved the Oscar. He played a great character.
Sure.
What I love too is that every time they were in the swamp, even in the beginning, or when him and Meryl Streep were walking through, I'm thinking to myself, where are the gators? What are these guys? These guys are gonna get killed, and then in the end, he gets killed by the gator. It's like you're just waiting for it, and then once you forgot about it a little bit, like, oh no, those are gators. There's definitely gators.
When they wake up and they go back to the car, and they were camped out waiting for him to come back to the car, I'm like, Jesus, these guys are. Meryl Streep is ruthless. She went from like a journalist interested in orchids to ruthless.
Yeah, well, I think
we have to kill these guys.
I think that's another thing of like she was so bored with her life. Like she had a great life. She made money doing exactly what she wanted to do. She lived in a fucking dope apartment in Manhattan. She worked for the New Yorker, and she was just bored. So that whole thing, I think, was just her being like this is like I just feel like this is her changing moment of like I can be somebody else than I am. You know what I mean? And that was showing it. Because I don't think in any case in that situation would me personally be like, we got to kill this guy. You know what I mean? And Chris Cooper, in no way, was trying to kill that guy. Chris Cooper loved the fact that he was the dude writing the script. He was like, yeah, man, like, you got to call me. We got to talk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that was amazing. He's just butt naked, dick out.
Who's going to play me, man? I don't know that. Which I thought that answer I always like kind of relate to, because from like our perspective from working in like television, like when people ask us like random ass questions that we have nothing to do with, like it's just like, why do I don't know. It's not my job. Fuck off.
Yeah. No, for sure. It's a mayonnaise commercial. Leave me the fuck alone.
Exactly.
The fact that this movie started with 2 Nick Cages and ended with 1. Pretty epic.
Yeah.
And I think his best role. I do.
It's definitely my favorite Nicolas Cage role.
I think it's my favorite. And after seeing it again, I was like, yeah, fucking Nick, this is great. This is
Donald or Charlie?
Both.
A combination.
Yeah, just
overall.
Both. Yeah.
As if they were one, which arguably they were.
Yeah. I mean, it's the overall performance with. It's because it's a dual performance. Like it's two.
Yeah.
These 2 characters.
The brothers and Meryl Streep, they were all one person all the whole time.
Exactly.
Maybe.
But how was she chained up and he was somewhere else?
What is it? He's like camera tricks.
Yeah. What happened?
He's like, how's this person or how's that person going to be doing that if this person's going to be doing this? If there's camera tricks.
And the best way is he actually goes, "That's not what I'm asking, Donald."
Tries to explain it, and he's like,
wasn't
never
family.
Mind.
He wouldn't.
He'd be gone.
He'd be out of there.
Yeah.
Psychologically taught.
Yeah.
I was really looking forward to a horseback motorcycle chase scene.
I think that would have been a little too much, but yeah.
That would have been rad.
That would have been great.
If Meryl Streep jumped on a horse after like some guy was on a motorcycle driving by and the surviving brother jumped on the bike and horse chased his bike.
I mean, it would have worked. It would have been a little much, but I guess it would have worked.
Anything would have worked, I guess.
Yeah.
You could have just said.
And you said, like it ramped it up so much that anything could have worked in that situation.
He ramped it up so much that I was laughing.
Which is good because it's a comedy. This movie's a comedy. I just want to point out one thing real quick. So
go on.
Nicolas Cage.
We have to.
Nicolas Cage in a row made some pretty great films. So he made Leaving Las Vegas, won an Oscar. Then he made The Rock. Then he made Con Air. Then he made Face Off.
Yeah.
Then he made Snake Eyes. Then he made 8mm. Then he made Bringing Out the Dead, which is a Scorsese movie that nobody really likes, but it's actually pretty great. Then he made Gone in 60 Seconds. Then he made The Family Man, which is a really good movie. Then he made this. And then he made Matchstick Men. That's a fucking impressive bunch of movies right there, man. That's an impressive string of movies right there.
And then if you keep going, you're like, what?
Yeah, if you keep going,
what is that?
Hold on. Keep going. He made National Treasure. He made Lord of
Which
War.
I love.
Lord
Which
of
is a
War,
great
great
movie.
movie.
Never
The
heard of it.
Weatherman, great movie.
Never heard of
And
it.
then from there on out,
National
yeah,
Treasure 2,
he-
Book of
he-
Secrets.
yeah, but me. And
Come
then
on.
from there, he made Kick-Ass, which was actually all right.
Yeah.
But since
Big
then,
Daddy.
yes, since then,
So when did he start going to in obscurity? About like 2010 or something?
a
That
little
area.
before that. So he went into
Yeah.
obscurity in, let's say,
2008 maybe.
hold on. Let's
Tell me now.
say
I want to know.
Done with the
2008.
fish.
Yeah, because no, he made Knowing. Knowing was actually a pretty great movie too.
Never heard of it.
Really, that's a pretty great movie.
Maybe we'll see.
Yeah. Let's just give a shout out to Nick Cage, man. Nick Cage gets a lot of disrespect, but
Shout out to
Yeah,
Nick
Nick
Cage.
Cage.
Nick
Come
Cage,
on,
if you're
dog.
listening,
If you wanna be on our podcast,
Hit
I'm
me
sure you're
up.
listening.
answer my
watch
text
any movies.
messages.
Yeah, dude, come on out.
shout
You
out
know-
to Big Cat. Shout out to Nick
And
Cage.
your
Shout out to Chris
family
Cooper.
members. Coops, yeah, good
Chris
dude.
Cooper, loved you in October Sky.
Oh,
Yeah, good.
Okay.
Good pull. He was great.
He was great in that. He was
Come
great
on.
in American Beauty as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Name 2 movies Chris Cooper was not great in.
That's
I don't
many
even think
movies
I can
I've seen him in.
remember
He's
what
great.
That's what I'm talking about.
He was in Jarhead, but he was great in that.
Mm-hmm. He was good in Jarhead.
Was he in Green Mile?
No,
Seemed like he could have been.
So,
he could have been.
Chris Cooper
100%
won the
could've been.
Oscar for Best Supporting.
Yes.
yes. A well-deserved win.
Cool. Yeah. Here, look at this. That's what I was looking for. Meanwhile, Ed Harris was nominated in the same category, also acting alongside Meryl Streep in The Hours, 2002.
Mhm.
Also, John C. Reilly was nominated that year for his
Okay.
supporting role in Chicago.
Yeah,
Nice. Good for John C. Reilly.
John C. Reilly, dude.
killer. Yeah.
He's been killing the game for a while.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he's
Ever
great.
since
He's
Gilbert
great.
Grape, dude.
Did he play Gilbert Grape?
He did not, but he was Johnny Depp's BFF in that movie.
I heard PETA was pissed
I don't
off
remember-
that
I
they
don't
killed a
remember him in that
grasshopper.
He was Johnny Depp's friend.
That's crazy. Don't remember that. That's cool.
I
I'm gonna
love him
rewatch
in
that.
the
It's a great movie.
Scorsese movies too. I think my favorite John C. Reilly roles are definitely the cop in Gangs of New York, and then the right hand man of Howard Hughes in The Aviator.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was great in those films.
He could do it all.
Also, another hidden John C. Reilly gem is a movie that Jake's probably seen. I think I saw it with you actually, called The Sisters Brothers with him and Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, I wasn't super into that one.
I
but
thought no, but he's great in that. He's really,
good in
really
it.
good in that.
He's good.
Yeah, I think I saw that in
super-
theaters. with
I
you.
wasn't really into the movie. Yeah, that sounds right.
Movie theaters?
Yeah, this was years ago.
It's
Before
like
years
2015, yeah.
past. Years past. Back in 2018, years ago.
Back in the day. How about favorite scenes? What are your guys' favorite scenes from this movie?
I liked this. I like the scene where Streep was high and she was like on the phone and looking at her toes, and then she tried to do like the humming noise with John on the phone. I don't know. That scene always stands.
It just
out
cuts
me.
to her listening to the dial tone.
Yeah,
That was pretty funny.
for whatever reason, that's a good scene in there.
Yeah, as much as I was talking shit on the end, the more I talk about it, the more I liked it. Shit
Where
just got
Charlie, where
wild.
Donald dies, you mean?
It just got wild. It got wild for no reason,
It did.
Yeah.
and it was great. Good way to end. Good way to sum everything up.
I mean, the obvious one for me that I love is the one with Brian Cox at the seminar, but there's so many great scenes in this movie that I can't just pick one.
When they're on the set
can't
of
pick one.
Being John Malkovich, that
Yeah,
was
that's
pretty
great.
great. His brother's coming over, just suave as fuck, talking to everybody. Sits down in the chair next to him,
Eating a cookie from Crafty.
eating a fucking cookie, drinking some coffee, talking to the makeup lady. When he's over, and the actress is over at the house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those were good. His
Great
brother,
scenes.
the brother is probably my favorite character.
Donald?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I hated seeing him fly through a window.
Yeah, I didn't expect that either the first time I saw this movie. I did not expect them to die.
Yeah, the
'Cause
whole
they
ending
got
was
out.
just crazy. The whole ending.
They got out. It just ramped up over and over again.
Yeah.
I really wanted a horse in a motorcycle race.
Man versus machine.
It's like man versus horse.
Horsepower versus 1 horsepower.
Oh, Spike Jonze. Any
versus
other
powers.
What was your favorite scene? Oh, you already said it. Do you have anything else to say?
I mean, I think we've said a lot about this movie.
I liked it.
Done with fish.
Done with fish.
I'm done with fish. Not the band, but the eating the animal.
This wasn't an invitation to force your vegan ways upon us, Jake.
Also bringing up the band Fish. Shout out to the band Fish.
Shout
Never
out
heard
to
of
Fish.
Yeah,
PH.
PH.
Fish.
Where do you rank it, Jake?
Ooh. Oh, can I give you guys an update? This is a big update.
No.
Big update on the ranks. All right, pay
Negative.
attention. All right,
Negative
check
on
it
the
out.
update.
I got a 7-spot swap. That's a triple S if you're counting at home.
Wait, say that again?
7-spot swap. It's a big deal.
Okay.
So right now, here's
It
what
is
I'm
a
doing.
big deal.
I have
got a Chevy right now.
I have a taxi driver. For the longest time, I've had the taxi driver ranked very high. It has been at number 5. Magnolia was down at 12. For some reason, taxi driver hasn't sitting well with me, and it's just hasn't had like the impact. Magnolia is a very impactful film, and I very much love it. So I'm bumping Magnolia to 5 from 12, and Taxi Driver 5 down to 12.
I like that.
7.
I like that.
Is that a
moves.
7?
That's a 7-spot swap. Yep, yeah, triple S. That's what we call it here
My goodness.
on MMwM. SSS.
Are we allowed to tell people that?
Well, yeah, it's fine. I'm cool with it. I'm open about the ranking.
So where you putting this one, Jake?
Oh, this movie. All right, back to that. I gotta reevaluate this because made some good
You guys
points
fucking
today.
love this movie.
I do. You want to know where I'm going? I know where I'm going.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
guess
go.
where
I
you're
think I know. I'll do
Schwartz,
me real. I'll do me real quick.
You're gonna put it at number 2.
I am. I'm putting it at number 2.
I knew
Schwartz
it.
is 2.
I knew it,
All
you
right,
scum
I like
fucking
it.
cheesy
That's right.
rat bastard.
it's up there.
Cheesy and rat.
Cool.
Somebody put it. There you go.
There you go. I'm doing it with my mind.
All right.
Man, this one's
What I'm gonna do
I
is.
know. I'm ready.
All right.
No, I'm listening.
15. I'm going 15.
Oh my.
I'm gonna place it right above the Deer Hunter, and right below Train to Busan. Actually, no, I'm gonna put it above Train to Busan at 14.
Ooh.
14.
That's a one switch
Yeah.
spot.
Just right under
Scooby-Doo.
Prisoners.
Cool. Yeah, I'm right
Cool.
there with you, dude. I'm at 13, right below our last movie, Magnolia. Was that our last movie?
Yes. Magnolia was our last movie.
Number 13 below Magnolia, above the Godfather trilogy, whereas Schwartz has the Godfather trilogy at number 1. And this one at number 2. A lot of Coppolas on the list.
Couples going on.
A lot of
I
Coppolas.
think we are at 60 movies now. That was the 60th movie. So
And a
big
lot of
ranking going on.
Coppolas.
A lot of Coppolas, a lot of big ranks. Schwartz, you know what this means, right?
We all need to go get Coppola wine
This is your favorite thing.
and
I
chug
can
a
give you, I
bottle.
can give you the overall rankings update.
No, no one
10.
likes that.
Did you
We should
do
get
it?
rid of that totally.
I haven't yet because we just hit 60, so I can do it now.
No, I think we should skip that for the rest of the
Do it.
podcast.
We'll all just wait.
I don't know. We'll take a.
I'll play a drum beat or something.
I think that if we asked the audience, they would say that's irrelevant. We should get rid of it.
Huh?
What do you think, Anthony? Should we do you like the overall updates or do you hate it? Like Schwartz just doesn't like interaction or fun
No, I'm into it.
or numbers. All right, cool.
No, I only say that because you like it so much, dude. Come on. It's
All right,
fun.
I'm into
2 to 3. There we go.
It's 3-0, dude. We're in.
You're outvoted. Cool.
Go for it. I don't give a fuck.
You do.
Since we're doing like random votes, like I think, what do you think the best movie of all time is? No Country for Old Men. Anthony, what do you think?
Oh, interesting.
Wait, you guys, wait. So you don't only think it's better than the other movie, you think it's the best movie of all time?
I do.
Well,
Okay.
It's hard. It's a hard, firm answer there, but I kind of do.
Okay.
At least my favorite movie.
Okay.
Terminator 2 is a hard comparison though, because I got that one.
I mean,
also that one.
There Will Be Blood, I believe Schwartz has stated, is the best movie of all time.
It's my favorite movie of all time for sure.
Do you think that also mean it's the best?
I mean, There Will Be Blood is the only movie I ever saw that affected me like it did when I saw it the first time. And I had seen a lot of movies like Pulp Fiction's in that category. I mean, No Country's in that category of like, holy shit, like this is great. But there's something about There Will Be Blood that was just like, wow. It was just the magnitude of it. I'd never seen something of the magnitude of that before. It just hit all cylinders. There was not anything bad about that movie, in my opinion. Like, it was a 3-hour movie that never got boring. The acting never got stagnant. The cinematography never got bad. The soundtrack is arguably the best movie soundtrack I've ever heard. It was amazing.
And Jake, your argument for No Country?
I just prefer the No Country for Old Men. I think I like the story.
You didn't know
better.
he was going to be prepared. Did you have that written down, Schwartz?
No, I'm just telling you my thoughts.
That was just a passionate answer.
I'm telling you my thoughts about that movie. That movie.
There's no denying There Will Be Blood is a fucking amazing. If it's probably in like the top 3 movies ever, top 5 movies ever, easily.
Definitely top 10.
Yeah. So I can't say that. I was just obviously busting your balls because of our debate of is No Country for Old Men or There Will Be Blood better.
No,
if I think No Country is better, then and by default, it's the best movie ever. It's the greatest movie ever made.
Exactly. That's math. That's basic
you guys. It's just you guys being wrong, so it's okay.
No.
Yeah.
All right.
No Country's the best movie ever made. I don't know about the best movie ever made. It's here's the thing. What would you rather watch?
And what?
Those two.
No Country.
I would rather watch There Will Be Blood.
I've seen No Country way more times than I've seen There Will Be Blood.
I've seen No Country probably just the amount of times I've seen There Will Be Blood. But this is the thing. No Country is an incredible movie. It's probably in my top 10.
The Coen brothers.
But I mean, I think that There Will Be Blood is the best movie I've ever seen.
Right. It's
that and Sixth Sense are like up there, right up there.
What would be my second favorite movie of all time?
No Country for Old Men.
Maybe Pulp Fiction.
Probably my
and that's not even my favorite. That's not even my favorite Tarantino movie, but it's probably his best.
Yeah. That's just like semantics, dude.
Yeah.
You
can also argue like the Coens have made some pretty great movies, and I guess There Will Be Blood is their best, but I think Big Lebowski is right there with it.
I fucking love the Big Lebowski. That's their best like comedy. That's like, I think could be also in the top 5 movies of all time. If we wanted to go down that route. Late in life.
I didn't get in that movie until maybe like, I don't know, 10 years ago.
That was like a high school stoner comedy I watched all the fucking time when I was in high school.
Lebowski,
yeah.
Yeah, I never smoked weed in high school, so I didn't get into it.
I got into Lebowski, probably within the past 10 years.
Yeah.
Definitely within the past 10 years. But yeah, I don't know. There's no but about that. Also, around the same time, Doctor Strangelove, which is also one of the greatest comedies of all time.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I love that movie. I feel like those two movies, I don't know if it's because I kind of discovered them at the same time or, I don't know. I don't know why they resonate with me together, but they do.
Because they're both absurd movies with characters that are just fucking weird, but like they exist because it's like this world is weird.
Could be, yeah, but almost borderline realistic situations going on in this, or absurd situations going on in this realistic world.
Yeah.
Anywho, Adaptation. Great movie.
Yep. Great movie.
I'm happy I watched it. It's better than I thought it was going to be. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I haven't seen it in like years, so it was fun to watch again. Good pick. Glad it was on Prime.
Zip it up and zip it out. Thank you very, 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 very much for listening to another episode of Making Me Watch Movies. Do not act like you're not impressed. We have made it to 59 episodes, which means next episode is our... That's right, 60th episode. And for that 60th episode, we're going to watch a little movie called Take Shelter, directed by Jeff Nichols, available on Amazon Prime. Check out Michael Shannon in yet another great performance. Can't think of a movie where Michael Shannon wasn't great. On Amazon Prime. Adaptation. Thanks again for listening to 60 episodes of Making Me Watch Movies. Follow us on Instagram, MMwM_podcast. Follow us all on Instagram, Schwartz, Jake, and Anthony. Follow the Big Cat on Instagram, at Bodacious Drew, DRU. And have a wonderful week. See you next time. Listen to us wherever you get podcasts. Bye-bye.